The Baltimore Ravens came up short again in 2024, dashing their dreams in the divisional round, ending hopes of their Super Bowl run. So I got my guy, Coach DBev, with me today to discuss what happened in 2024, what the offseason look like to him, how he grades his rookie class, and what's the outlook for 2025. Let's get into it. There he is, the man, no myth, the legend. Coach DBev is in the back of the building with us today. How you doing, good brother?
I'm good, sir. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good, man. Glad to have you. Glad to have you. It's been a minute.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thanks for having
me. This might be the first time you've been on the pod since we did the rebrand. Am I right on that?
You are right about that. You are right about that.
Yeah. Okay, so his first trip out in 2025, so he is welcome back to the new and improved Lockdown Diva Sports Network, man. So yeah, Baltimore Ravens, we got to talk. We've been hitting and missing about all these happenings going on, from the playoffs to the offseason, all the questions about Lamar Jackson. The management and the team is always well run. You always seem to do what you're supposed to do in, free agency, the draft, and things of that nature. And we're going to get your perspective on that. But what we got to find out before this show ends, what are the Ravens going to do? What are they going to do?
Age-old question, man. Age-old question.
It is. So, man, yeah. So without further ado, man, let's jump right into it. Let's talk about the outlook for the Baltimore Ravens in 2025. What's on the horizon in 2025? So, of course, you have your off-season moves, you have your free agency, you have your draft, all the good stuff, that is, the style of free agency, right? Yeah. So, let's start there. Let's start with the particulars about free agency. What was your off-season likes and dislikes when it comes to free agency? So, yeah, your free agency class here, I think it was just pretty solid. Nothing, outside of maybe that top name, it's nothing, world beating in regards to what you did in free agency, but it's typical Ravens fashion. So please give us your perspective on the offseason moves and how you feel about things in this rendition of 2025.
I really feel like the front office did what they had to do. I think we were faced with some really tight, salary cap, restraints and constraints. You know what I mean? I think they made the most important moves. I think, really the biggest one for me in the offseason was retaining Ronnie. Ronnie wasn't going nowhere, man. He loves Lamar. He loves blocking for Lamar. He was never going nowhere if the Ravens came with a decent offer. I think, make it $20 million a year.
And nothing to sneeze at.
Exactly. I think I'd be good with that. Coming off, a couple, injury seasons,
Absolutely.
But besides that, man, bringing in D-Hop was really, I really liked that move a lot. I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought, I knew that we wouldn't do anything big in the wide receiver department. I knew, I thought we may trade a Mark Andrews for, the fan of me wanted a Tyreek Hill trade for Mark Andrews or something crazy like that. What I mean? But I knew, that's just not how we operate. We wasn't going to pay receiver, especially when you got a Zay Flowers that's proven to be a number one. You wasn't going to try to, you was going to keep him at that X. But I think bringing in D-Hop and, as a veteran presence, I loved what he said when he, first got the call. Even he was like, holding the receiving room accountable before he even shook a hand. You know what I mean? He called out the receiver group, and so I love that. I think that young group with Bate, with Zay, with Tez Walker, they need a veteran presence. So I thought that was perfect. I thought we had an opportunity to bring back Joe Flacco, man. I would have loved to see Joe one last year back up to Lamar. He was open to it. The team was open to it. Not sure why it didn't shake out, but you bring in the Cooper Rush. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not, in the words of Shaq, I'm not quite familiar with his game. I remember some starts down there in Dallas. I think he even
he went 4-1 at one point with McCarthy while Dak was hurt. So yeah, he had a little flash and dash, but he has never been great as a full-time starter. So yeah, he's definitely backup material.
Yeah, it is. It's a different look. I mean, he's he has some mobility, but he's what I mean. Like you talk about a plug and play for like, and now I think in this point in Lamar's career, he's not. This isn't a Greg Roman system. So
Well,
Lamar is a true NFL quarterback that has the whole playbook open to him. So I mean, I think just getting the quality back up was needed.
mhm.
No offense to Josh Johnson, anything like that, but they did what they had to do. And then lastly, I think Chidobe, man, again, that we're young at corner. We haven't been able to see what TJ Tampa can do. You know, second round, was he second round or fourth?
No, CJ was fourth. Yeah, now
Oh,
y'all get him later. Yeah. Mhm.
yeah, so he was injured last year. I mean, you got young Nate Wiggins. You still got Marlowe, who really at this point in his career, like he's gonna be more like inside. You know what I mean? Not
Mhm.
outside. So like just getting some extra depth there, some reliable depth. Saying so long to Stevenson, Brandon Stevenson, man. New York, good luck. I mean, that's all I gotta say. And Marcus Williams, he just need to retire, bro. Like, yo,
Yeah, he had a rough couple of years. I ain't gonna lie to you. He had a rough couple of years.
Jamar Chase made him his son, man. That's
Well, yeah. Well, Jamar tends to do that to a lot of people, but yeah, especially looking at his chops at Marcus Williams, absolutely. To the point he got that man benched. I think halfway
oh
to
yeah, that was
yeah,
it. Oh, that was it.
yeah. Okay, okay. Yeah.
We feel good, man. We didn't have a lot of holes. I think going into the draft, I think so. They did what they had to do. They made the right. It's tough. You pay a QB $60 million a year, and you
Gotta
build
find
up.
cheap labor somewhere, right?
That's it. Right.
Yeah.
Right. And they find the right pieces. They find players that's going to come in and work hard and contribute and not just add to the culture. So I feel good, man. Feel
Okay.
good.
Awesome, man. You mentioned the draft. So let's jump over to that next and talk about what y'all did in the draft, how you grade that particular experience. Now, and I give the Ravens a lot of credit, which is, makes me, feel good about what the Chargers are doing because, Joel Ortiz came over from y'all. And y'all always seem to handle business in the draft. And yeah, and the last couple of drafts for us, they definitely did their thing, and we're something we're not used to as Chargers fans. Having good drafts. So now we feel like we know how y'all been feeling for years. Like, if they make a strange pick, you like, what are we doing here? That's not what we do.
Right.
We not typically, screwing up with draft picks. So, the draft class was actually, I didn't realize this until I did the research. The y'all picked a lot of players in this particular draft. I mean, y'all had a bunch of picks. I mean, it was a lot. I mean, coupled with the fact that y'all had 5-6 rounders. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Bro.
So I thought we had a lot of picks, but y'all had us beat because we ended up trading to with our 6, but y'all had us beat big time as far as how many picks I had throughout the draft. And then a lot of these names, I had listed as sleepers in certain regards. So please tell me how you feel about the draft class.
Bro, I was saying this to some friends and everything. It's like I really feel like this is like an EDC masterclass. This might be his best draft. I'm not talking about like he had drafts where he ended up with Zay Flowers, but that was just because again the Chargers.
Well, we gave y'all handed that to y'all, right?
Right. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, right. You're right. Still matter.
But top to bottom, like front to back draft, man, like this was the most Ravens of Ravens drafted. We did not trade up once. I thought we would have taken it. We had 11 picks. You know what I mean? I thought we would have took a couple of those and moved up once or twice. Man, they let everything fall to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it starting at the top. I'm still tripping how we got Malachi Starks, bro.
Well, that's the front offices of other teams that did that because I didn't believe that we was gonna get a Marion Hampton in no way, shape, or form, and he fell into us at 21, and you let Malachi Starks of all people fall to y'all at 27, and then Nick Imawari fell out of the first round altogether. I didn't have that no mock. That no mock that I ever did in the offseason. Did I have any of those guys falling that far?
Yeah, he goes to Seattle, which is crazy.
But, it is,
yeah. But yeah, I mean, so let's Malachi Stark, bro. Like that is the piece. So we talked about Marcus Williams,
right?
Once we benched him, you see we're top 10 defense, right? Top 5 even.
Right.
You insert Malachi Stark. with Kyle Hamilton.
That's scary. That's scary.
And they are both chess pieces, bro. Like,
agreed. They're definitely moving around.
Who's where? And I'm like you see the defensive coordinator, like just his reaction is pure elated joy, bro. Like he just it's going to be a problem on defense. I think speaking of defense, Mike Green, crazy again.
First round. I didn't have him falling that far either. Yeah, still.
Bruh, like, you look at him, Von Miller type measurables, like, and I caught a couple Marshall games too, man. Dude, so he solidifies the edge rush. I love that they put defense, man. That's again Ravens draft, right? Like,
right.
Emory Jones, bro, was like a need for us because now here's the thing: the O-line was they found their groove about week 5, week 6 last year. You had Falele coming in, really first time starting. We had Patrick McCarry on the left guard spot, plugging in where he can and then rotating. And so our guards are really our weak spot. But Voorhees was a 7th round draft pick that again the year before EDC picked up off
of. Told him because he was coming off ACL, so nobody was going to pick him early because he was injured.
Exactly, he was supposed to be like a 2nd round, like created talent. That's you playing with house money, and now I think he may get that left guard spot. And the thing is, they love a Falele, bro. Like Falele is
a big human. Okay, he's a big human. Okay, he's 6'8", 340 pounds on a good day. Right.
So, maybe if I think he has potential, but like, hey, I like Emory's footwork. I think he would be a great complement at that right guard spot to solidify the O-line. And then we got oh man, we got Justin Tucker 2.0. Yeah, and Tyler Lute.
Yeah. Well, let's hope it's not 2.0 because what happened with Justin Tucker's career. So don't put that juju on him.
Let's not even put his name in the situation. Yeah,
right. Y'all replace y'all kicker is what we're going to go with. Yeah, your kicker is
away from all massage parlors and
absolutely. Keep away from anybody that's related to Deshaun Watson or Justin Tucker for that matter.
Exactly. But no, top to bottom, dude. Like even the nearest Peoples, I thought he'd be like in the 3rd round.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked that him and Lagerbeam lasted as long as they did in the 6th round. I'm very shocked at that because I thought the Chargers might take a spin on Lagerbeam. I think y'all took him. I think we might have picked him after y'all if he had it's still been there because a lot of people had him mocked to the Chargers late in the draft. And 4'3" guy. He only about 180 pounds, but he can run. I think he's going to be a good special team contributor, maybe a fill-in role in a nickel or dime situation, from a depth piece. So I think y'all having good space to develop him for sure, to kind of fill the void in when other guys that age out and are no longer there. So that was a good value pick as well. This is a typical Ravens draft, like you said. I'm not sure what LaJohntay West is going to do yet and from a receiver spot, how deep that room is now. But again, another piece, you can bring him on slow. You don't have to rush him out there. It's a lot of Ravens as things going on here. You went out there, defense, tackle, linebacker, tackle, corner, D-line, corner, and guard. Yeah, it's definitely, built in trenches out. That's the modus operandi for the Ravens for sure. Absolutely.
I can see 10 of these 11 dudes making the team, man. Like
that was going to be my next question. I was going to say, do you feel like all 11 players will make the 53?
Yeah, honestly, the only one I'm looking at is Garrett Dellinger. Like, I think after the draft, who did we pick? We picked up dude from Los Angeles, the tackle, swing tackle. What's his name? Long Note.
No boom.
Yeah, swing tackle, right? Like, so we got some veteran depth. I just think the O-line is in a good place.
Yeah, the odds for Dellinger is definitely long in the tooth. I feel like that 7th round pick too. He's a really long range corner from Florida, but I just think we got too many corners in the room already. Yeah, he just might not be on the practice squad.
Y'all had a good draft though, man.
I definitely look forward to it. I'm doing coverage on that. Shout out to the Electric Shot podcast. If you're a Chargers fan, I'm doing big things over there as well, covering that. So yeah, we definitely doing a lot of things over there in LA, man. I'm hoping for a good season.
Los Angeles Ravens.
I ain't mad at that. Listen, we just need the success to go along with it. That's all. That's all. But yeah, man, I think I did a good draft. So overall, what draft grade would you give your Ravens for 2025?
I'm going with a solid. I'm gonna go with A. Look, I'm going to a solid A. It wasn't again outside of the first two picks, which is just like
Slam dunks. Yeah.
real slam dunks. I mean, it was you filled every need we had, and you got like so much value out of those picks at where you got them. I mean, I would just say A. I would have liked to. I would have liked to see some moving up to maybe especially to address maybe some other opportunities at online and things like that. But I'm good. I'm good. I feel good about the prospect. So I'm gonna go with A.
Okay. Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay. All right. So let's get to it, man. Let's talk about it. So the Ravens, as we had, discussions in the 2025 during the 24 and 24 season, excuse me.
Yeah.
During the 24 season, we had a lot of discussions about what the Ravens' potential and how they were going to finally, quote unquote, get that monkey off their backs in regards to their lack of playoff success. But, status quo, unfortunately, they did lose in the divisional round again. Made it to the AFC title game last year, divisional round this year. Can't seem to get the Bills or the Chiefs out of their business.
Right.
So yeah, based upon offseason moves I made, based upon the draft picture I have, tell me from your perspective, what is it going to take for them to get over the hump finally and make good on Lamar's promise to bring a Super Bowl to Baltimore?
Right. Pain. I'm still hurting.
Oh, the wound is still fresh.
Andrews and he said what he called it. His gloves is wet. He said his gloves was wet. Hey, yo, bro, come on, bro. I'm hurting.
As thick as those gloves have, I don't believe it, but okay. Right. I have a pair of those gloves, and I can put Clorox wipes on them and everything like that. He still stick. So
right.
It is what it is.
Man, I think the last 2 years were like just pain, just really a lot of pain. That's as a fan, but you look at like even so after the game, you look at Lamar, his reaction, like that was real raw emotion. Like
Oh, yeah, I agree.
I think it's those losses, man, that the Bills like that scar tissue, you know what I mean, and that resolve and that grip. I think he's Lamar. The story of him losing this last year and the year before even is not the same story of him losing the first 3 years of his career, post career. He was younger then. That was just, this is different. We went out. I mean, hats off to the Bills. They took advantage of our missed opportunities. We beat ourselves. And I'm saying that, I mean, not in a cocky way, but you can look at the game. We couldn't be stopped by the Bills. We stopped ourselves.
Okay.
And so I'm looking at this year. I like how we tooled up. I'm excited. We got younger where we needed to get younger. We got better where we needed to get better. I think our defense is going to be a problem. And I think another year of Derrick Henry in that backfield with a retooled O-line is just going to be really a problem. And then you have another year of Lamar with another chip on his shoulder. And not to mention, can we talk about the MB3 debacle? Like talk about chips on your shoulder. I mean, this is a season that has been erased from the record books essentially because you got however many 24 tush pushes, by the dude up there in Buffalo. And so I think you got a Lamar Jackson that, he's always hungry, but I just think this year, looking at the schedule, we got a middle of the pack schedule, but I'm gonna say it every year. It's our year, but it just feels like everything's aligning. And if we bring back home even some more depth, not trying to go ahead and bring Clowney on back into the building, let's go one more time. Let's go one more round.
Rotation of Ojabo, Clowney, and Mike Green. That's
and Kyle Van Noy. Yeah, I mean, like it's
Van Noy, who led y'all in sacks, didn't he? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 13,
yeah. That 4-man rotation with the pass rush, that's going to fix it a lot because I think that's one of your Achilles heels of being effective and consistent at the pass rush.
Yeah.
So yeah, if y'all can fix that, I think y'all will be be stronger and more formidable. But what it comes down to is executing when it matters, though. I mean, Lamar has had great seasons. We argued over the MVP last year about him and Josh. I did a whole video on it talking about how I feel like Lamar got robbed and all this good jazz. How you have? I mean, if it was Nikola Jokic, fatigue. How do you have his best statistical season of all the MVP seasons, but lose to Josh Allen, who had lesser numbers? But I'm not gonna cry with spilled milk. All I'm gonna say is this:
I'm crying.
you should. It's your team. You should. But I will say this: that I do believe that you just gotta, just run the course. Run your race, handle business in the regular season, put yourself in position to be, in a way that you could dictate the playoffs going through Baltimore. One, two, you got to execute when it matters. We could argue that your OC got tight in the first run as the OC. He passed the ball 10,000 times. We shouldn't have been running it.
Yeah.
Then the whole tuss push and the lack of production or lack of catching in the second time around. Mm-hmm. So again, you get into the Peyton Manning territory now, where they called him a choke artist a lot when he in the playoffs early on. So you got to get that stigma off of you. Then you can really play ball, and I really think is wide open. I think with that defense is always going to be stout. Always got to put up the points. That's where it boils down for me.
I agree. I agree with everything you said, 100%. I mean, this year in the AFC, I mean, especially first in the division, you got Pickens up out of there. Yeah, I mean, they don't even have a quarterback in Pittsburgh.
Right, that's a mess.
Cleveland.
Even more of a mess.
Cleveland, right? And then there's no defense in Cincinnati. Like
the best pass rusher is unhappy. Yes,
bro. I heard they had tryouts. I almost told the wife I'm gonna go downtown and see what I can make happen.
Right, get their contract.
I mean, like $200 million on offense is crazy.
It is.
So I mean, look, we got a path to at least winning the division, and I mean, really, it's Buffalo, it's the Chargers. It's I actually think the Chargers are going to take the West this year. I mean,
I'm hoping.
I mean, the West is actually just the
gauntlet, man. The AFC West is a gauntlet now, man. There's no easy wins, so we got to handle business. We might be the best coach team, but it might be, a situation where you just got to strap your boots up and handle the division before anything else. If you don't do that, you'll be playing in the wild card regardless.
Yeah. It's wide open field this year, though. So
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I think the Bills are definitely looking around. I think the Chargers and Chiefs are still looking around. I don't know what's going on in the South, but yeah, I think you're right. I think this is the time. It's go time for the Ravens. They got to get it done. I think they got to get it done because you don't want to waste Lamar's prime years on mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, man. So you got any closing arguments before we get up out of here?
Stop taking out players, man, and our coaches and our offense stat. Like, bro, what is that?
Brothers, what do you want me to do? That's like me calling you for work when I need some stuff. You got some stuff going on in Ohio that I need. I got to call you.
Hey,
bro. It is what it is. It is what it is. But listen, man. I wish y'all the best, man. And I definitely want to have you on, throughout the preseason and getting to it up and give me a deeper outlook, especially when the schedule comes out on Wednesday. Give me a deeper outlook on how you feel about your chances and what you think is the most pivotal moments of your season. And we'll get right to it, man. We're gonna be here ready to roll. So, man, let anybody know where they can find you on social media if they want to bug you about Ravens talk.
Yeah, absolutely. So, really, I mean, I'm out here on Twitter. I'm DB the product guy on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram, Notorious DBev on Instagram. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay, all right. So if you're looking for the podcast network, there's the links in the addresses for every format on social media that we got. YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, you name it, we got it. Lockdown Diva Sports on all platforms except Twitter. It's Lockdown Defense. Lockdown Diva Sports at Gmail. Drop us a line if you wanted to, talk to anybody on the network, Ravens or otherwise. And we'll be back as always with a video tomorrow, 3:00 sharp as always, man. But yeah, man, I want to thank Coach DBev for coming through today and giving us his blessings and his predictions for the Ravens season. And as always, man, until next time, I'm Coach DBev. That's Coach DBev. We'll see you when we see you. Step up and lock it down.